Yo, welcome back to the No Cut Sports Podcast with your host, Niall Frazier. And today we got a few things we need to talk about, but before we get started, could you please like, comment, and subscribe to always catch this vibe, man? Y'all already know. Also, the fourth annual free book bag drive will be this weekend, Saturday, August the 10th at 828 North Hanover Street. I do want to check the weather. I think it's supposed to rain, so I do want to check with the guys, see what we're doing. But I know we are having that event that day. I'm giving away 300 book bags and some gift cards and free food and snacks like that. So if you're in the area, please stop by. We would greatly appreciate it. With that being said, let's get into the topics for today, man. Got my notes up. And I know I missed yesterday too, so I might go back and forth. But let's just start off with who didn't practice today. We had C.J. Gardner-Johnson with a shoulder injury. Wide receiver Paris Campbell with a groin injury, excuse me. Linebacker Oren Burks with a knee. Linebacker Brandon Smith with a concussion. Safety Mekhi Gardner with a hamstring. We also had a couple of players limited in practice. Cam Jurgens with an illness. And right guard Tyler Steen with an ankle. And wide receiver Austin Watkins with an illness. So those were the players that were out today. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say I did see. Well, yeah, he was limited in practice, so we did see a little bit of Cam Jurgens out there too, and Tyler Steen. But with CJ being out, excuse me, I'm a little under the weather, but with CJ being out, both Avonte Maddox and James Bradbury got first team reps. James Bradbury had a reported PBU again, and seems to be taking advantage of these reps. If JB can turn it around, would y'all like to see JB stay at that safety position for depth? It's kind of up in the air with him, so we'll see about that. Also spotted today was Sidney Brown, who was doing drills on the sideline. He was seen doing drills, and it was reported that he was flying. Didn't really look like he had an ACL injury. I know his recovery is coming along pretty well. Hope to see him, sometime in November, December. But with all these injuries that we're sustaining, I mean, do we try and consider going out for Justin Simmons? I know it's something that we've been talking about. People don't want us to talk about it anymore, but it's still out there. I know they also have reports that it's been some contract negotiations with, or they offer. Not, I don't want to say they're offering him a contract, but there have been talks between him and his camp and the Colts. Excuse me, and don't know what's transpired so far, but I do know if that's going on, how he needs to make his move, if that is a player that we do decide to put on his team. So, with that being said, we also had Cam Jurgens leaving practice yesterday, like I spoke about. He was limited today, but we were lucky enough that it wasn't a major injury. Hopefully he can stay durable or be as durable as Jason Kelce was, because that has to, those two guys got to be on the same page. And if you put another center out there, that, might not have the same connection with Jalen Hurts, it's a recipe for disaster. So hopefully my man Cam Jurgens can stay healthy. Hopefully everything's all right with him. But right next to Cam Jurgens has been a decent battle going on between Mekhi Becton and Tyler Steen, right? Now, Tyler Steen has been getting first-team reps, or he had first-team reps today. Like I said, Tyler Steen was limited in practice as he's recovering from his ankle injury, I think it is. And I know the team probably wants Tyler Steen to start, but then with the acquisition of Mekhi Becton coming here, as I spoke before, he's he's not a recent, but he's a former first-round draft pick, and the talent is there. And then with him working with Jeff Stoutland, is making him even more better, and he's getting the reps, and he's getting those first-team reps. Now, Tyler Steen did get first and second team reps today, which is good to see. Like I said, they probably do want him to start, but getting both of those guys up to speed, because Beckton's coming from the Jets, and then Tyler Steen, he hasn't started too much. So, or I don't think he probably started a little bit before, but without them two guys really starting for the team, we would like to see how that pans out. So I know Friday we have Baltimore versus us, and I know it's there. So maybe both those guys play. I don't know. They haven't made an announcement yet about if the starters will be playing, or whatever the case may be. So moving on, we're talking about my boy, my guy, my fault, y'all. Jalen Hurt is still on fire at camp. Hurst has yet to throw an interception, and he is, I guess, a pass or two from breaking Elliott Shorts Parks record that he has. I don't know what this record is, but it's something that Elliott Short Parks does. So I mean, shout out to him. And like I said, Jalen didn't get a chance to throw much today. I think I want to say I saw that they were just doing drills to like run out clock at the end of games and stuff like that. So a lot more running plays. I know Saquon Barkley was dominating running plays, but they did say Will Shipley was struggling on second team with Nakobe Dean tackling him, getting him, Van Summeren also putting him in the dirt. So I think they do want to utilize Will Shipley in this offense. But if you're asking me, I do think Will Shipley can be running back too. But there's talking about how he can't. His blocking is not good. So, something that he needs to work on. But then also it comes with, like, I guess, putting size on too as well. Uh, but I do think, like, Will Shipley, as he gets more acclimated to playing in the NFL and, just getting the reps under his belt, then he'll be okay. So, with that being said, I'm sorry. Let me stay on Jalen Hurts. I do apologize, but they said Jalen Hurts was connecting today with AJ Brown on a few slant plays. That seems to be AJ. Well, we know that's AJ Brown's bread and butter route. But they were putting the ball in stride for AJ so he can get some yards after the catch. Hurts' accuracy has been amazing, but the decision making is even better, from what Eagles offensive coordinator Kellen Moore said. And I'll play the clip here.
Jalen just through the first couple weeks of camp.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal. He's done an awesome job just continuing to build and evolve with this thing as we go. And so, I think the communication has been critical. It's been awesome, his with the players, from player to player, but also just our collaboration as we continue to build this thing, getting good feedback on things we like, things we want to adjust, and continue to keep building that. And it's been a really fun task.
Kenny and Tanner, what would you like?
Hurts was also even whipping Big Dom's golf cart around with Nick Sirianni in the passenger seat and Big Dom in the back playing. And also they had amazing Frankie Beverly playing, man. Happy feelings. So, I think so far so good with Jalen Hurts. As y'all know, they were speculating about the rift between him and Nick Sirianni. And I kept saying it was probably just, a difference of opinion. Things happen with grown men, you know what I mean? But if y'all both are men, y'all should be able to talk it out. Could have been some things with the offense, I'm sure, but I don't know. I'm not there. I don't want to speculate too much, but I'm just happy to see that everybody's getting along, especially Jalen Hurts, man. He's just stepping up. You see him in the mic'd up video that the Eagles posted. He's in good spirits, but you can still tell he got that big chip on his shoulder, man. He's still working hard and wants to make sure he can get us back to a Super Bowl and hopefully win the Super Bowl this time. And I think he can do it, man. Him being as accurate as he's been at practice, and I know it's just practice or training camp, whatever you want to call it, but hopefully that carries over. And now, like I said before, I don't know if Jalen Hurts and starters will be playing in preseason, but at the same time, when they do play, I would like to see Jalen Hurts be able to do the same thing that he's doing in these practices out there on the field in the live games. So have no problem with that. Also, Hurts is the spokesperson or the face for the 2028 Olympics. I made him look accurate throwing the ball up there to like the whatever you call it, what they call that. I apologize. But yeah, the torch, whatever the case may be. So yeah, man, it's good to see you, man. And I heard other people saying, like, how hard, like LB, I think I heard say this. He said, how hard it is for, you got to be the face of the NFL. Like, you have to be a good dude. You got to sell jerseys. You got to do all that good stuff. And Jalen Hurts does that. So I'm expecting a big year from Jalen Hurts, man. Really hope, like I said, I really do hope with this team he can get us back to the Super Bowl, man. So with that being said, man, we're going to move on to the next topic. Moro Ojomo, right? Yeah, we really ain't been hearing too much about Moro Ojomo, but at the same time, it's been reported he's been having a solid camp, especially coming from the defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio, and I'll play that clip here.
Ojomo, just to follow up on that, looked like he was...
Yeah, he's getting better. He's showing up. He's on the lighter side as D linemen go, D tackles, but he's athletic, plays extremely hard, very coachable, and he's had a good camp.
He had a tackle for loss today, right? I like Ojomo, and I think, and I also play that clip if I do have it, but Vic Fangio talked about having 5 to 7 true defensive tackles, right? He said that the Eagles kind of classify their edges like Josh Sweat and those guys as defensive tackles, but they're not really defensive tackles. He said that his offense or his defensive scheme that he needs about 5 to 7 defensive tackles. So I'm for sure if he don't have what he needs, he's going to get what he needs. But so far, so good. The defense has been playing pretty well, man. With Jordan Davis getting into the backfield a lot last practice, I want to say I think it was that I saw. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter to being disruptive, as well as Moro Ojomo, Milton Williams. So those guys are playing very well. And shout out to Clint Hurt because that's his job. So Clint Hurt came in here. And I said before that he was gonna come in here and change this line around. Now we haven't got to see them play. Like I said, this is all speculations. Just, I ain't seen them with my own 2 eyes yet. But if they can get in the game and they can play like they're playing now and creating the pressure or getting sacks from the quarterback, even talked about Nolan Smith getting to the quarterback a lot. So if those guys can do that in live game action, man, it should be very scary. I didn't even heard Moro Ojomo even talk about the intelligence or the football IQ that Jalen Carter has. He said he's just a talented player, man. So he said you can see it on every play. Also with Nolan Smith, they talked about Nolan just always having that motor every day, day in and day out. And that's something that you really need out there on the field because a problem that we were having with Jordan Davis, I'm not trying to pick on him because he's been doing very well. But in years prior, he could not stay, I guess, what do you want to say, a certain weight or his current or a weight that he needed to stay at. And it affected his gameplay. And like I said, with Clint Hurt coming in here, that all that was going to stop because for you to be efficient and play 4 downs, you got to be a certain weight and you got to have a high motor. So hopefully, with Jordan Davis and then like they talked about with Nolan Smith, hopefully all that we can see all that come this preseason game come Friday. I really don't know if I'm gonna stream the game or anything like that because I don't want to get copyrighted. But maybe I'll do a pre-game video or something like that. So stay tuned for that. And if you like what I'm talking about so far, please, man, like, comment, and subscribe to always catch this vibe, man. You already know. So, another thing that we needed to talk about was Milton Williams, right? And I'll play this clip about what Vic Fangio thinks about Milton Williams.
He's a guy that I've, from afar, have liked. That the Eagles have had. In fact, I tried to get us to trade for him last year in Miami, but Howie wouldn't do it. But I like Milt. Milt's a pro.
So as you heard, Milton Williams or Vic Fangio wanted to trade for Milton Williams when he was down there in Miami, which is I'm glad that didn't happen because if it would have played out the way it played out, he was coming back to Philly anyway. So I'm glad that didn't happen. Shout out to Howie for not letting it happen. But with Milton Williams playing the way that he's been playing, he hasn't been starting too much because, he was playing behind people. But when he did get in, he really did flash a lot. And he's coming up for a contract next year. So I think they had like preliminary talks. I don't think anything has transpired so far. But I really do hope that we can get Milton Williams on this line, keep him on this line for years to come. Some way, somehow, I think how we can work them numbers and hopefully keep him here. Hopefully, he wants to take a hometown discount like Devontae Smith. But defensive tackles have been getting paid lately, man. It's not. I'm not trying to be selfish when I say that, but I would love to have him here. So, I hope they find a way to keep him here, and we'll see about it, man. We will. But something else that I did want to talk about was some takeaways from Vic Fangio's press conference that he gave yesterday. I want to say. So Vic was talking about sitting in the booth to give his defensive play calls, which I do not mind at all because I feel like, and it was the same thing that Devontae Smith said about Nick Sirianni, stepping back from everything and seeing everything from a 30,000-foot view. Same thing with Vic Fangio. He said he wants to sit in the booth. He said the owner sit in the booth. All the people with money sit in the booth. He said, so I'm going to sit in the booth. He said, I don't rely on somebody else's knowledge or understanding. He said, I sit up there, I call the plays. He said, I'll voice my opinion or I'll say what I need to say to the sideline coaches, and then they'll give it to the players. So thought that was kind of cool. I do remember seeing him with the Broncos and with the Dolphins last year up in the booth. So I like to, see how that pans out. Plus, if I'm not mistaken, Dan Quinn was doing the same thing with the Cowboys. So, and their defense was pretty decent. So, but he also spoke about Nakobe Dean and Nakobe Dean taking a step back in the public practice, saying that overall he's been having a good performance in the camp. But I don't want to say I'm worried, man, but at the same time, I think it's an area of concern. I know that they signed Shaquille Quarterman, who was from the Jaguars and didn't play too much. I think he played like 1% of the snaps, and but he can tackle. Might be a special teams player, but definitely for depth for the linebacker. Like to see what he can do. I know they had him out there practicing either yesterday or today. Uh, he also spoke about Hunt still learning. Coming from a smaller school into the NFL, it's a different transition. Now you know that he did flash a few times without the pads, but when the pads came on, hasn't been looking as good as we thought he was. So just something to monitor. And he also spoke about a healthy linebacker and a healthy linebacker and cornerback positions. Excuse me. Competition at those positions. I do apologize, but spoke about that and said it's not really nobody pulling away just yet. I know Isaiah Rodgers got first team reps today alongside Darius Slay. Reports have been coming out saying that Darius Slay like kind of got routed up and he fell to his knees. And I mean, like I said, I don't want to make too much about it, but I did speak about this before. And I said, he's about 30, 33, 34 years old. He probably got talent, but like the body starts to break down, man. You closer to 40 than you are 25, 30. So you got to think like it's about that time where, sooner or later that body's going to start to break down. Now, do I think Darius Slay can still play? Oh, absolutely, of course. But Vic also spoke to the fact that they have Quinyon playing in the slot. And he said, we don't mind him playing in the slot as a bonus, but when we drafted him to be a corner, so I don't know how y'all want to take that, what y'all want to take from that, but in my eyes, I feel like they want Quinyon out there on the field. It's great to see that he can play all those different positions if they need him somewhere else. But at the same time, you still got Cooper DeJean. Sean Stevenson had a pick today, if I'm not mistaken, or he had a pass breakup that led to a pick, but he did have a pick six yesterday. So it's some players on there. Tyler Hall, good coverage on a lot of like your starter players, Devontae Smith and things like that. So it's a lot of cornerbacks out there that are younger, hungrier. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that Darius Slay is hungry, but or isn't hungry, but like the saying goes, the hungry dogs run faster. Sean Stevens is coming from a small school, 16 interceptions when he was there. Tyler Hall, when he did play, he did look good. Quinyon, you're going against both Devontae Smith now and AJ Brown. You got Quinyon sitting there saying, Devontae, your route's trash. You feel what I'm saying? So that guy's made to be out there. So some which way or another, Vic gonna have to figure out how he's going to get these guys out there. But I do think Darius Slay still has the talent. But like time will tell, man. As we watch these games throughout the year, we'll see. Like, because I did see some things last year, and I'm like, is he okay? So and I knew he was dealing with the knee issue, so I try to give my man the benefit of the doubt. But it's something that we do need to look into or keep abreast of. You feel what I'm saying? So with that being said, he also spoke about needing inside linebackers, which was crazy. Well, not I want to say it's crazy, but and I don't know how to take this because is he speaking about Nakobe Dean? I don't know, but and what he was saying was that the death behind or for him to be able to run a good scheme, I would say, you need inside linebackers. The way the game is played today is played in space, so you need guys that can cover area fast. And I don't know. I'm not gonna say we don't have the players, but Jeremiah Trotter's coming along. He can drop into coverage and stuff like that. Uh, Devin White's more of a blitzer, which is nothing wrong with because they have been utilizing blitzing more in the Vic Fangio defensive scheme. So hopefully we see more of that. But being able to drop back is a big thing with the linebackers, and if the guys that we have can't do that, not that I'm saying that they can't, but where say one of the guys go down, do we have somebody that can step in and do the same thing without being a liability? So just some things to think about there with that linebacker position. I do think next year that needs to be addressed heavily. I did think they were going to take a linebacker earlier with my guy from Texas, was it Texas A&M if I'm not mistaken. So hopefully you see something with that. But they also asked Vic Fangio, and if I had the clips, I will put them all in here. But they asked Vic Fangio about why the defense hasn't been able to get a interception on Jalen Hurts. He just came out and said that Jalen Hurts has been playing excellent. He said, great decision making and things like that, like I spoke about before. And I think this is going to be a big season for Jalen Hurts. But it's also saying that he can read the defense, and with Vic Fangio's defense being, I know he's throwing the table and sink at Jalen Hurts just to confusing, but it seems to be that Jalen Hurts is taking taking the time to, do whatever he needed to do in the offseason to be able to see what he needs to see out there on the field, and it's starting to pay off. So he does want more takeaways, during practice, but it won't be happening against Jalen Hurts. So with that being said, man, that's all I have for y'all today. If you could, please like, comment, and subscribe to always catch this vibe. And I'll see y'all soon, man. Hopefully, I'm gonna try to make a video tomorrow, man. I've been working a lot, but as y'all know, I'm gonna get it to y'all any which way I can. So with that being said, man, it's not from No Cut Sports Podcast.